Acute psychosis, you'll hear about that associated. There are many studies out now that show the higher the concentrate, the longer the use, the more likely you are to have psychotic break. It is definitely real. I'm here to say I've seen multiple. A few cases to talk about. We saw a 38-year-old woman who came to our emergency department. She got high. The only drug in her system was THC. She got high. She stabbed her children, and she stabbed herself. She put everybody in the car, drove her car over a bridge with the intention of killing everybody. And everybody lived. The kids were air evac to Denver. She came to our hospital, and the only drug she had in her system was THC. So we talk about the cost of care for those. This was an adolescent male. The top case was an adolescent male. He was on holiday from school. He went to a different state. He had an acute psychotic episode. The parents thought it was so bad, and family said, well, this is so bad, we can't fly him home. So they drove out and drove him home. And when he came home, he came to our emergency department, and he was okay at that time. He got admitted because he had a real substance abuse disorder. And this is a kid who came from a family without a history of mental illness himself. The family had no family history of psychosis, no history of serious mental illness, and the only drug positive in this kid was THC. He got admitted to our adolescent unit, and he was in the adolescent unit for a week to 10 days when he had another psychotic episode. And during that episode, he assaulted 3 nurses and stabbed one of our security guards. We don't have the money. You would think, well, the industry says we're going to make a lot of money on taxes. We don't have the tax money. We're not seeing it. And we don't have the resources to keep these kids hospitalized. In fact, my hospital's adolescent drug abuse unit closed 2 weeks ago because we don't have the funding. So the closest place that I can send the guys is 60 to 80 kilometers away. And there's a very limited bed, so there's a long waiting time. So anyway, this kid was in our unit and had another psychotic break. Presumably he's not using, although I know they can sneak drugs in. He was discharged home within a week of that incident. He went home and he assaulted his grandfather so bad that he had to be hospitalized in the ICU with a subdural. And the last time I saw this kid, who was 16, he was in handcuffs, coming to the ER for medical clearance to go to jail, and the only thing he was ever positive for was THC. I talked to a friend of the family about a couple months ago, and this kid is still in jail. So then what's the cost of this life lost? He's 16. He's in jail, he's not going to get educated, and he already has a substance abuse problem. What's the likelihood that he's going to be successful? Really slim, and it narrows down even more.